Okay, if you could turn to page 9, we are going to take notes about volume of a cone. Okay, so I want you to think back to last week, and I want you to think about our cylinders from last week. So if you remember, when we had a cylinder, we found the volume by taking volume equals pi r squared h. Okay, well, a cylinder is a three-dimensional solid that has two circular bases, and a cone is a three-dimensional solid that has one circular base. So these two formulas are going to have a little bit in common. You'll notice that the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h, where the volume of our cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. So this is the new formula that we need to be able to use today. Okay, we still are going to identify our height and our radius very similarly, except now that we have a cone and we have that point, we're going to need to look for the height in a little bit different place. So notice how we still have a radius that connects the center of our circle to the outside edge of our circle. Okay, you'll still want to look for the radius that way, but our height, we are going to look for the perpendicular line that goes from the vertex of our cone to the center of our circle. Okay, so there's that 90-degree angle that we need to look for. Okay, so if we can find the radius and we can find the height, then we can use our 1/3 pi r squared h to find the volume. And as a reminder, we are going to use pi. Since we don't have a pi button, we're going to use 3.14 in our calculators. Okay, so what I want you to do, let's come over here to number 7, and I want you to write down what you think the radius and the height will be in this problem. Here's our circle. Here's the center of our circle. So this guy right here, 3.5, is our radius. This guy right here, 16, is our height. So I want everybody to write down volume equals 1/3 pi r squared h. That's the first thing I want you to write down. Okay, now we said that our radius was 3.5. Okay, so I'm going to put 3.5 squared right there. Okay, now do not work ahead of me. I want you to make sure that you're staying with me. So I want everybody to put 3.5 times 3.5 in their calculator so we can get this 3.5 squared. Okay, and what we're going to write is we're going to write 1/3. Pi is 3.14. Okay, what did we get for 3.5 squared? 12.25 and then 16. Okay, so just a reminder, our radius was 3.5. We took it squared to get this number. Our height was 16. Okay, now this is what I'm going to have you do. What I'm going to have you do is everybody right now, I want you to put this piece right now into your calculator. 3.14 times 12.25 times 16. Okay. Now, multiplying by 1/3 is the same as dividing by 3. So what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to have you put all of this in your calculator, and then when you get that number, hit divided by 3 equals. Okay, so maybe I'll even show you in my calculator here. Okay, so we take 3.14 times 12.25 times 16 equals. Then we're going to take that and divide it by 3. And there's where we get our answer. Okay, so our volume is 205.1, and we're still working with volume, so we're still doing our units cubed, so cubic miles. Okay, so let's come to number 18 here. Oop. A little bit craziness going on. Okay, here we go. So in number 8, what's strange about number 8? Notice how we have this dotted line going all the way across, and that is what 18 feet is referring to. Okay, so we know that this is the diameter, which means the radius is half of that, 9. Okay, this distance right here is what gives us our height. So our volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. We know that our radius is 9 and our height is 27. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to write pi as 3.14. We know 9 squared is 81. So now we have all the numbers we need to plug into our calculator. Okay, remember, I would like you to take this piece first. So in your calculator, can you take 3.14 times 8.1 times 27? And once you get that number, then we're going to take that 1/3, which is the same thing as divide by 3. So our volume, did you get 2,289.1 cubic feet? Okay. Now, what I want you to do, I want you to try number 9. What I'm going to have you do, I'm going to have you pause the video, you do number 9, and when you have an answer, press play and see if it matches what I have. So go ahead and pause. Welcome back. Did you identify that your height is 15 and your radius is 12.3? So we only need half of that distance. Did you use 1/3 pi times 12.3 squared times 15? Did you get 12.3 squared to be 151.29? So your final volume should be 2,375.3 cubic centimeters. Give yourself a pat on the back if you got that. First time around by yourself. Okay, now we're going to do number 10 together. Number 10 says, find the height of a cone. If we know that the radius is 12 and we know that the volume is 1,281.12 cubic inches. Okay, well, we know that our volume is 1/3 pi r squared h. Okay, well, we know that the volume is this number right here. So I'm going to put that in for our volume. Okay, we have the 1/3, pi is 3.14, and we know our radius is 12. Okay, so we have 1,281.12. We have 1/3 times 3.14 times 144 times h. Now, we need to get h by itself. So this is what I'm going to have you do. We need to figure out what this number is right here. So in your calculator, I want you to take this 3.14 times 144, and then we are going to do our divide by 3 for the 1/3. Okay? When we do that, what do you get? Do you get 150.72? We still have this h right here. So now I want you to focus on this right here. We want to get h by itself. How do we get h by itself? Well, we know that 150.72 is tied to h for multiplication. So we need to divide both sides by 150.72. When we do that, we get 8.5. Now, what's our label? Our radius is 12 inches. Our volume is cubic inches. What about our height? Okay, volume is the only one that's going to be cubic inches. Radius and height are both going to be just inches. Okay, so our answer is 8.5 inches. Okay, so this is what I'm going to have you do. Your job is to, on page 10 and 11, do numbers 2, 5, 8, 10, and 12. These two are very straightforward. This one, you're going to have a cone and a cylinder that you're going to have to add their two volumes together. Okay? I want you to work on these 5 problems. If you get them done, you have to check your answers. Okay? Remember, if you don't have any work, I'm going to assume that you just copied. So make sure you show your work. After you get the problem done, then check your answer. Okay? Have a good day. Work hard.